Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to race number 9 of the second season of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, powered by the WRA. Getting set to go racing at the Dover International Speedway for the AAA 200. Getting ready for a fun 120 laps of racing. On the pole position, S Askraov in the number 2, her first pole of the truck season, second career pole. Also won a pole earlier this year at Texas a couple of weeks ago in the Busch Series. Shyla comes into this race here today, situated 22nd in the points, gained 3 spots after last week's race at Loudon, New Hampshire. She's alongside of Ashton Ingersoll, who dropped to 4th in the points after losing the points lead last week. So she'll look for a bounce back run. Maisie Creighton in run number 2 comes in this race 14th in the points. We will be seeing her tomorrow afternoon as she'll be making her Busch Series debut. And she is alongside of Carlos Rodriguez, who comes into this race 26th in the points, 7 points above the 30th in the standings cut line. As there's a look at the rest of the lineup there. As all these trucks rolling off, 120 laps, 120 miles we have in store for us here this afternoon as the SS Greenlight trucks bring up the rear of the field. Gretchen Muller took the points lead last week at Loudon. She is the points leader by 1 point over Bora Park, so the Rookie of the Year battle is getting really tight. 11 points back is Dylan Cunningham is third. Ashton Ingersoll, we just mentioned, dropped 3 spots down the fourth in the standings. Dylan Ebrahimian is 22 points back, fifth in the standings. Then it's Ingrid Pollard, T Noguera, Mark Simpson, Michael Brown, last week's winner at Loudon, and Addison Peterson jumped up 8 spots to 10th in the points. We will see Peterson also tomorrow afternoon. She qualified her way into the Busch race earlier today. "120 laps of racing here today. Big crowd on hand. Also, the Cup drivers just had morning practice before they got ready for the race here on Sunday. Green flags in the air. We're underway here at Dover International Raceway. S Askraov will lead the first lap of this race. Shyla missed out on taking part in tomorrow's Busch race, but she's got one more attempt this weekend here at Dover. Going to be seeing her tomorrow afternoon, qualifying her Cup car into the show. Unlike trucks and Busch, the Cup Series has a total of less than 42, like 39 or 40, that will attempt to qualify tomorrow afternoon. So Shyla is one of those drivers that will have to make the show on time. Dylan Cunningham now in second. Dylan Cunningham having a very good season. His sister, Sylvia Cunningham, will be seeing her next week at Darlington Raceway as she will look to attempt to qualify that 50 truck into the show. Michael Brown gained 12 spots up to 9th in the points. We got a flash here. We got problems for the 80 of Dylan Ebrahimian, sorry, I almost said Cunningham. And it is a fuel system, we're being told, on the 80 truck, as he is off the pace. But he is on the apron, so we will remain under the green flag. That's 2 weeks in a row. Summit Oskin's teams have had trouble. Summit Oskin failed to qualify for this race. And now Dylan Ebrahimian came in this race 5th in points, already in trouble and already gone a lap down as a result. as Cunningham will get the lead that lap here. Shyla did not want to race Cunningham this hard this early in the race. Makes a lot of sense if you ask me. I'll give you an update if Ebrahimian, will be continuing on, or if they're going to push the truck back behind the wall. If you're wondering what I'm watching on my PS5, it's Worst Cooks in America with Tyler and Ann Burrell, the late Ann Burrell, who we lost this year after she passed away, as I'm recording this on October 23rd, 2025, which we do send condolences to Ann Burrell's family. And looks like they got the issue fixed on Ebrahimian. That is the good news. The bad news is he's already lost soon to be 4 laps doing so. I do not know how up to speed the 80 truck is. So 2 weeks in a row, an Oskin driver has had trouble. Summit Oskin failed to qualify Loudon. 2 of his 3 teammates got involved in an early incident, and now here, excuse me, and now here this week, Oskin failed to qualify. Ebrahimian has had troubles. So it's not been a good start to the race for Oskin Motorsports. He has lost, as Ebrahimian's lost 4 laps. Apology for the cough. At least I didn't choke myself out. That would have been bad. May go get some ginger ale later today as I'm recording this. That would definitely make my throat feel better. I don't have COVID. So I've been in my room almost all day. Dylan Cunningham, currently the race leader. Dylan looking for his first win of his career and of the season. This truck last season was driven by Carolina Bradley. We saw her earlier today trying to make the Busch race. And right behind Dylan Cunningham, the gal he's trying to run down for the points lead. That would be Gretchen Muller. And Gretchen is going to take the lead as a result. Get her bonus point for leading a lap. So now the 4 and the 52 are back to square one. Tatiana Guerra, Mark Games, Michael Brown, Ingrid Pollard, Anthony Ricci complete the top 10. Anthony Ricci tried to qualify his way into tomorrow's Busch race, unfortunately failed to qualify doing so. In his defense, his first attempt in the Busch Series, he's running for truck points. Dylan's sister Sylvia will see her next week at Darlington as we wrap up the first part of the race. Will be 10 races into the Truck Series second season after this week's festivities. Reminder: pole day qualifying next weekend will be Wednesday night at 7 for the Truck Series, or no, 8 p.m. for the Truck Series. We're going to do 8 p.m. Pole day qualifying for Busch will be at 5 p.m. or no, that's right, 7 p.m. Eastern next Wednesday for the Truck Series because it's our first night race. Next Thursday, pool day qualifying for Busch. That will take part Thursday night at 5. The truck race at 7. Winston Cup qualifying Friday at 5. Busch race at 7. And then Saturday at 7, which is a week from tomorrow, will be the Winston Cup Series as we wrap up their first half of the regular season. And then the following week, it'll be just the Cup drivers as we're going to go racing at Daytona for their All-Star Race weekend. So this race and next week at Darlington, this is it. As time's running out for drivers to try to get a win to get themselves into this season's All-Star Race. We have 21 as of now locked in the All-Star Race due to wins either from this season or after the All-Star break last season. As Shyla is now in second, Maisie Creighton in third, T Noguera and Mark Gaines, that is your top 5. We have a couple of international drivers we know from this series. Don't know what country Tatiana Noguera is from. I need to ask Captain Frank before I forget. Mark Games, we know he's from the United Kingdom. Shyla Askraov is from Kyrgyzstan. She's also the first Kyrgyzstan driver and the only one to date that has won a pole in trucks and Busch. If she can win a pole in the Cup Series, she would be the first Kyrgyzstan driver to do it in the same season, believe it or not. G Muller from Germany leading this race. Check back here. D Ebrahimian looks like he is up to speed, so they got whatever the issue fixed. Back here at the rear of the field, Sophia Woodward from OKC not having the run she was hoping for. And she came into this race, if I can find her in the points, Sophia that is, 18th in the points. Sasha Bright raced her way in. Shakira Takashi running well in points, 11 to be exact, not the run she was hoping for. Ashlyn Wright, we'll see her tomorrow afternoon in the Busch Series race, just getting experience here this weekend. She's looking for her first win here in the Truck Series. In Berkshire, Alina Ricci, this is her home race. Victoria Hughes in the 8. Timo Mauser, you can say he's from Germany. Skylar Davidson, I believe, I'm going to have to go back and see. I know Maisie Creighton is in. Addison Peterson, we'll see her tomorrow afternoon. I think Skylar Davidson DNQ'd. Yes, she did. So this is her only race of the weekend. Zachy Panini not having a good run in that number 34 machine, and that's not good because he came in this race 25th in the points, 7 points above the 30th in the standings cut line. The only South African driver in the field, Quincy Jones, former amateur series driver. Pedro Sales, there's Bianchi and a Steiner. Anna's 24th in points. She got away from 30th in the standings last week. The only Moldovan driver in the field the only South Korean in the field, that would be Bora Park. I think she's from Moldova. I'll have to look. Erica Douglas did not qualify for the Busch race. Anna Berger, I think that's the Austrian. There's Luis Hernandez. Danny Johnson, hasn't seen Danny since he ran, I want to say, Auto Club, where he fell out of the top 30. And there's his teammate Mark Simpson. There's Abigail Furling, Tyler Thomas, the Australian, Hannah Smith from Canada, Taba Sakura from Japan. We will be seeing Hannah Smith in the All-Star race on the Cup side because she won last season. I'm trying to remember if I'm going to go ahead and pull it up right now because I didn't realize Hannah Smith needs an All-Star. Right, she won at a track we'll be going to later in the year. That would be the Kentucky Speedway. That was when she made the playoffs, sadly got eliminated. As there's Carlos Rodriguez, as in Peterson, just trying to learn. That's all she needs to do because she's in tomorrow's Busch Series race. Sam Vickers, Zach Foster will need to run for a driver who comes into this race in that critical 30th in the points. Ingrid Pollard, Daniel Gitteroth, not the weekend he was hoping for. There's Maisie Creighton. We'll see Maisie tomorrow in the Busch Series. Tatiana Noguera. Derek Elwood in the 53. We talked about him yesterday during pole day qualifying in his in his Truck Series debut. Excuse me. He's not 18. He's like under 18. I will need to actually check how old he is, courtesy of Cody Smart. And we will see Cody Smart tomorrow afternoon, along with the other drivers in the Winston Cup Series. As I just got a message. Oh, it's from Adam Sandler. I knew it was that. Of course, these races coming out in 2026. Derek Elwood's also in a couple of weeks, he'll be celebrating his, let's see, he is currently 16 years old. He'll turn 17 in a couple of weeks. So he is 1 year away from racing full time in this series. As Ebrahimian, not not the day he was hoping for. What he's going to hope and pray for is attrition. As you look at Gretchen Muller, you talk about Gretchen Muller in the final truck series, the Coca-Cola Truck Series, did not run the first couple of races due to the fact she was not 18. Got a playoff waiver. I'll have to check. I think she did not make the playoffs. I don't know that for sure. I'll have to go back and look. But Gretchen Muller, the only German driver we have in this series, at least for now, other than Timo Mauser. I think he's from Germany. I could be wrong. As Gretchen Muller currently our race leader. Ebrahimian not having the run he was hoping for. You notice I did not bring up the former winners at Dover. Well, that's because the Truck Series did not race here in Season 1. The only series that raced here in Season 1 was Busch and Winston Cup. So we're going to be having ourselves a first-time winner in this series. As we're about to be halfway through a fuel run for these drivers. Or anyone asking about when will the Red Bull GT Series start? It will be coming soon. I just got to get the Dover weekend. I'll actually have a channel, a NR 2003 update video as I'm recording this. I'll probably have it out tomorrow to tell you guys, hey, here's where we at in the schedule. This is where I got to. Blah 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 blah. Yes, I've had several days I missed out on recording. If we didn't have my recording issues, we would have already been past All Star Weekend. I've now realized as of this recording. And of course, for the Truck Series drivers as well as the Busch drivers and the Cup drivers, they get to evaluate what they've done in the first half of the season. Of course, there is no playoffs for anyone asking. If you guys want to keep up to date with the series in the Discord, the link is down in the description below. Also, I forgot to mention this. Please also take note of the description. That way you guys know what the rules are before I forget, because I'm going to forget at some point. Mark Games is now going to take the race lead as we're now halfway on a fuel run, lap 50 of 120, because these drivers cannot make it 120 laps on a tank of fuel. They can only go almost 100 laps, which if you do the math, they would be 20 laps short of making it the entire distance. That's why pit stops are going to be a factor. And this is one of the treacherous pit roads that we'll be going to on the schedule. Or what I may end up doing is when I get to a good certain point on the schedule as far as where I am recording wise, then I'll start recording Red Bull GT Series stuff just to fill the gap in. I'm probably thinking the Red Bull GT Series will be starting during All-Star Race weekend, is where an estimate guess, because I gotta download the mod, put the driver's name in, fix the ratings, yada yada yada. But that's what I think we will start the season, is after next week at Darlington. So I will make that announcement, or by the time you're watching this, I've already made the announcement in the Discord. We're also nearing the midway point of the race, and to my surprise, we've not had a caution yet. Seeing a lot of good racing. Of course, it is 60 degrees here. Of course, I'm wearing a jacket in the booth. Not like a suit jacket, like a coat jacket, just for clarification. It's going to be in the 60s all weekend. And also at the end of the year, the top 5 drivers in the points from the Truck Series We'll move up to the Busch Series. I believe we'll be using the 2006 2007 mix schemes. But I will not make that confirmation until I have a plan, or it could be 2006. I don't know. I'm still going to work that out as we're now halfway through this race. Just past the halfway point of this race. Right now, lap times have dropped to over a second slower, which says to me the longer these drivers go on tires, the longer they're going to continue to drop off the pace on lap times, because they're now over a second slower than they were at the start of the race when they had a full tank of fuel and tires were fresh. We're now 63 laps into this race. The fuel is starting to burn off. The trucks are starting to handle differently than they were at the start of the race. G Muller leading this race. Mark Games in second. Michael Brown is third. Daniel Gitteroth is up to fourth. He needed to climb his way out of near the danger zone of the top 30 in the points. Gitteroth comes into this race. Gitteroth 28th in the points. He was a mere 3 points ahead of the 30th in the standings cut line. Maria Steiner in 5th, Ashton Ingersoll 6th, Hannah Smith 7th, Derek Elwood 8th, Zach Foster is 9th, and 10th is Anthony Ricci. Been very impressed, especially that 53 bunch. We're also about to hit that number in a minute. They're about to approach Cheyenne Berkshire, and who's that? That's Timo Mauser. This is not doing Timo Mauser's chances of getting back in the top 30 in the points any bit of any favors, because he came in this race a total of 55 points behind the 30th in the standings cut line. With him running in 41st, in 40th rather, that's not doing his hopes of getting back in the top 30 in points any favors. It's also not doing Cheyenne Berkshire's chances of getting back in the top 30 in the points any favors as well. Because she is a total of 59 points back of 30th in the standings. So Cheyenne Berkshire is not doing herself any favors of catching back up as far as trying to get back in the top 30 in the owner points. Or in the driver points. Well, you get what I mean. Jackie Panini, Lucia Bianchi. We still have all 42 drivers on track. Now, the big question is, I do not know if the 80 truck, I'm going to have to double check. I do not know if he took tires or not. Remember, he came to pit road early in this race. He's already 4 laps down. I don't know if he took tires, to be honest with you. And like I said, for Ebrahimian, this will take him out of the top 10 in the points just like that. Especially with the point system I have in. Yeah, after Darlington next week, we will have the Red Bull GT Series drivers back, as they'll be on the same weekend as the Cup drivers. Because Red Bull GT Series will have and we're going back to 42 drivers. We're not going to like have a lot of drivers. We're going back to just a regular NR 42 car field. So that will mean nobody goes home. Everybody will race. Is the plan. Like I said, that series will start in a couple of weeks. Gotta download the mod. Gotta get ready to start recording races. I know Cody wants me to get last minute drivers in that deal, and I also need to get a last minute driver for DVR, which we'll talk about that in the Red Bull GT series on another day. Have I released? I think I have released the schedule for Red Bull. Let me look. Because I don't think we have anybody else signing up. I know Carlos Rodriguez, Michael Brown, Christian Williams, who, by the way, has not made a Winston Cup start. Of course, he is going to be the driver of the 25 this week. There's going to be some tracks. We're going to have Red Bull GT Series pair up with the Cup drivers. I'm actually going to go look and see if I've already pinned the schedule or not. I have not pinned the schedule. I should do that eventually. That way I have the schedule all locked down. So I will get ready to work on, like I said, Red Bull GT Series will start after next weekend at Darlington, which I'll have the details on that shortly. So I'll probably see Sylvia Cunningham run full-time in the Red Bull GT Series as we have pit stops. Somebody came to pit road. Sam Vickers, Saki Panini came to pit road. So it says to me The window is now open for these drivers to come to pit road. The last thing we don't need is a pit lane incident. So all these drivers that are coming to pit road want to do the undercut. They want fresh tires. I'm trying to see who stayed out. That was Gitteroth, as it is a crowded pit lane on track. As these drivers, Gitteroth, I believe, is going to come in. Yep, here he comes. Gotta get down the pit road speed of 35. It's not an easy task, especially this track. Really important to get off pit road, or get on the pit road, I should say. Gonna watch the pace truck to make sure there's no cautions. Everybody's made a 4-tire pit stop, making some chassis adjustments. And we'll have to see. I'm just watching the pace truck to see if we get a caution, because the last thing we need in the middle of pit stops is a yellow flag that's going to trap some drivers a lap down as a result. And Gitteroth is down in away. I think Dylan Ebrahimian, I believe. Yeah, I think he did not take tires because they had to fix the fuel issue. So he'll more than likely lose a lap go back to 4 laps down. As Daniel Gitteroth now in second. So he gambled and it paid off. Quincy Jones, E Creighton. Quincy had a longer pit stop. Shakira Takashi, Cheyenne Berkshire already 1 lap down. As we got an issue here. Okay, Ebrahimian just made his pit stop. So he's already back 4 laps down. So he's had a day to forget. And the fuel issue. More than likely, he's going to finish in last place. Oh, do we have a wreck? Yes, we do. We have a crash. Danny Johnson involved, and Victoria Hughes caution is out. Carlos Rodriguez is coming to pit road. That was the caution Gretchen Muller did not want to see. And that was not what the 9 wanted to see either, because that's going to trap Takashi a lap down as a result. Oh boy, this race turned on its head just like that. Well, you've already made your pit stop. No chance for these drivers to come to pit road. But the caution's out for the first time today here at Dover. Let's jump back, look at a replay. Caution out in the late stages of the AAA 200. Top break for Victoria Hughes was running in 39th at the time. Just made a pit stop and then something let go in the engine department. That's a tough break for her, but she didn't cause the wreck. What happened to Danny Johnson, the 04? Oh, Dylan Ebrahimian pulled up in front of Danny Johnson, got Lucian Bianchi a little bit. And Danny Johnson's going to back his Sprint PCS Chevrolet Silverado into the wall. I doubt Danny Johnson's going to be too pleased about this with the as Skylar Davidson did a good job not hitting the 04. I highly doubt Danny Johnson's going to be happy with Ebrahimian after this. And Victoria Hughes was not involved. It was a mechanical failure, unfortunately, took her out. But tough break for Danny Johnson. His first race back gets taken out of a wreck through no fault of his own, and that's really changed the complexion of this race. 45th in the points, trying to get back in the top 30 in points, though. Caution's out for the first time today. We're going to head to the restart here at Dover. We're going to head back to green on lap 95 of 120. As Carlos Rodriguez had a engine failure, so he's out of the race along with Victoria Hughes. And that starts to concern me for Carlos Rodriguez. The good news for him, though, a couple of drivers that are trying to run him down inside the top 30 did not make the race, but that's going to depend where the 67 is going to finish, because Sasha Bright came in this race 35 points behind the 30th in the standings cut line, and she's currently in 28th right now. Mueller is the leader. Gitteroth, Derek Elwood, Maria Steiner, Michael Brown, Anthony Ritchie, Hannah Smith, Mark Games, Addison Peterson, Zach Foster, your top 10. Well, this will get Zach Foster, if he stays right where he is, away from 30th in the standings. And remember, Sasha Bright is trying to get herself into the top 30 in the points to be locked in the show next week. Green flag back in the air here at Dover, Next week we're going to Darlington, Royals. And before anybody says nice, Derp, this race is being recorded at 2 in the morning. Okay? Please forgive me. So Gretchen Mueller has locked up the most laps led here today. Danny Johnson, don't know how much off the pace he is. Danny Johnson, by the way, actually lost a lap while they were getting his truck fixed. Also had to change 4 tires, so he is now 1 lap down as a result. Remember, in the Busch qualifying earlier today, we had a massive accident, which at least 30-plus drivers had to go to backup cars. Thankfully, they don't forfeit their position. Otherwise, we would have that jumbled up grid for tomorrow's race. All those drivers involved in that massive wreck in the Busch qualifying all checked and released from the medical center. So Victoria Hughes, Carlos Rodriguez not out due to a wreck. It's actually due to mechanical failures, unfortunately, that have both drivers back behind the wall and out of the race. We already mentioned where Carlos Rodriguez was at in points. Victoria Hughes, 2 weeks in a row, she's had poor finishes, dropped 6 spots to 12th in the points. This will drop her even further down the points table, leaving today's race. We're already at our Craftsman 20 to go. I want to remind everybody this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmitted or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the World Racing Association is prohibited. Lou Hedgehog TV and the World Racing Association want to thank you fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. The one driver we have not talked about is the gal that was trying to run down Gretchen Muller for the points lead. That would be Bora Park. 25th is where she is at. Dar Schmidt is the driver from Moldova, and where she failed to qualify for this race. Just got it's a reminder ping. Okay. That's my friend DJ Curtis. Thank you for the reminder, DJ. Love DJ Curtis giving out reminders. For me, inside of 10 to go, and I think Gretchen Mueller's more than likely has this race won. Good run for Anthony Ricci in second. Find out who our winners were from the Busch and Winston Cup Series. Well, this race is coming to a conclusion. We did have Busch and Cup here at Dover this last season. The defending winner of the Busch Series is Lucy Myers, but she's in the Winston Cup Series. So we will have a new winner in the Busch Series tomorrow afternoon. As for the Cup Series, will be Kevin Joseph. Gretchen Muller having a good race today. The German driver would like to be in the Winston Cup Series next season. But first she has to go through the Busch Series before she's even ready for Winston Cup. Down the 6 laps of racing to go here at Dover. Got a fun day tomorrow. Winston Cup qualifying at 1, Busch race at 3. Of course, we will see Lucy Myers, Kevin Joseph. Now, funny thing is, the two former winners in the Busch and Cup are both in Winston Cup this season. But both of them been having a struggling season over in the Winston Cup Series. We'll talk about that tomorrow afternoon. And the 4 laps of racing to go. Ashlyn Wright, not the run she was hoping for today. Was hoping for something good. Ashlyn Wright, this is actually going to drop her even more through the points table. I don't even know if she'll stay in the top 30 in the points. Sophia Woodward lost 6 spots to 18th in the points. I don't know if she'll still be in the top 30 or not. And depending where the 67 is, 67 is running in 31st, so Sasha Bright's not gaining any points on those two. So I think they'll still be in the top 30 in points, but they need to get some good results very soon. That's why they need a good result starting next week at Darlington as we'll wrap up the triple headers. White Flag, sponsored by Credit One Bank. One more time around Dover International Raceway for Gretchen Muller. Looking for her first career win in the Truck Series. She came in as the points leader. She will more than likely keep the points lead heading into next week's race. And coming off of turn number 4, it will be Gretchen Muller, first career Truck Series win, will take the AAA 200 here today at Dover. Of course, I was not trying to be loud because, like I said, it's 2 o'clock in the morning because my roommates are asleep. I'm the only one that's still up. But a good result for Gretchen Muller. As I said, came in this race as the points leader, will retain the points lead heading into Darlington next week. Anthony Ricci will get second, drop 8 spots down to 17th in the points. Good run from Maria Steiner in third. So Anthony Ricci will move his way back up through the points table as we have a little checkup, but doesn't matter, race is over anyway. As Gretchen Muller will now head to victory lane. Great run for Derek Elwood as he comes home in fourth. We will not see Derek for a while as his next start will be on either a road course race or short track. We'll have to see about that. Luis Hernandez will come home in fifth. Now, Luis Hernandez came into this race 15th in the points, dropped 8 spots after last week's race. This will be a nice bounce back run for him. Anna Berger will get 6th. Good run for Anna. 23rd in the points table. This will put her back in the top 20 in the points. Dylan Cunningham will now be second in points as he came home in 7th because the gal that was trying to run down Gretchen Muller for the points lead did not have a good run. That was Bora Park. We'll address her in just a moment. Anna Steiner, so both of the Steiner sisters finish in the top 10. Anna got 8th. Anna 24th on the points. This will continue to get her away from 30th in the standings. Sam Vickers will come home in 9th. That gamble of staying out longer paid off. Same with Daniel Gitteroth, paid off for both of them. They got top 10 runs in 9th and 10th. Well-needed run for Gitteroth, who came in this race 3 points ahead of 30th in the standings cut line, a 10th place finish. Will definitely get him away in that regard. Zachy Panini finished 11th. Abigail Furling 12th. Good runs for those drivers. Hannah Smith had a quiet run in 13th in her second start, so one of her better finishes. Maisie Creighton, we'll see her tomorrow afternoon in the Busch race. She was 14th in the points, finished in 14th, so not too bad for her. And Ingrid Pollard will complete the top 15. I don't know where this is going to situate her in the points, but we'll have to see about that. Number of drivers really didn't have themselves a good day. You look on down through the rest of the finishing results. Futaba Sakura finished 27th for the second week in a row. However, the only catch is that she didn't get involved in an incident. as far as that is concerned. Bora Park second in points, 29th. Sasha Bright 31st. The guy she was trying to catch for 30th in the standings, Zach Foster, 32nd. But the good news for Zach Foster is that the 23 and the 88 didn't qualify, so I think Zach Foster will still be inside the top 30 in points. A couple of other drivers that came in running well in points. T Noguera, 7th, going to drop out of the top 10. Ashlyn Wright, I don't know where 35th is going to situate her. Tyler Thomas, tough break for him. In his second start, had a great debut. Didn't have himself a good finish. He was the last car to finish on the lead lap in 36. We had 40 drivers finish the race. Shakira Takashi, Cheyenne Berkshire got trapped a lap down during the green flag pit stops. Danny Johnson was involved in our only caution of the race with Dylan Ebrahimian. I bet you there's going to be a good little explanation on the spotter of the 04 and the 80 as far as that is concerned. And only 2 drivers did not reach the conclusion of the race, both due to mechanical failures and not crash damage. Carlos Rodriguez and Victoria Hughes, they will finish in the 41st and 42nd position. So a tough break for those two. They'll look to try to get a rebound. He needs to start getting some good results soon, because I'm getting a little worried about Carlos, who is right near that 30th in the standings. And Michael Brown, 1 week removed from his second win of the year, comes home in 25th. Not the result he was hoping for. And Skylar Davidson, we'll have to see where 26 is going to situate her in the points as she tried to get herself back in the top 30 in the standings. But congratulations to G Muller on her first career win of the Truck Series and of the season. She will keep the points lead heading into next week's race. It'll more than likely be Dylan Cunningham who will be second in points. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed today's Truck Series race. Subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We've shown your full finish results. Points down in the description as a result of today's results. We'll see you guys next time at Darlington Raceway next week. But we got to finish up this race weekend. Tomorrow afternoon at 1, pole day qualifying for the Winston Cup Series drivers. Then at 3 will be the Busch Series drivers getting ready to tackle the Monster Mile. And then Sunday at 1, the Cup drivers will cap off our Dover-tastic weekend. Now for our studio engineer, Caleb Hobbs, I'm D DeVos. Thank you for joining me and saying goodbye and good night from Dover International Speedway. We congratulate G Muller on her first career win and first win of the season. Coming up next, we'll rejoin the Infinity Network Sports Studios programming already in progress. We'll talk to you again tomorrow, my friends. You've been watching the World Racing Association Greatest Racing since 2013 on the World Racing Association's Multimedia Network.